Students, is my voice audible? Had you all practiced the problems which we solved in yesterday? Had you all solved those things? Which I already mentioned you to see the textbook for solved examples. Had you seen those problems? Okay, students. Now let us write a problem. A cube of side 40 mm resting on one of its corner on HP. Resting on one of its corners on HP. With one of the solid diagonal with one of the solid diagonal parallel to HP. One of the solid diagonal parallel to HP and inclined at 90 degrees to VP. Draw the projections of the solid. What was the problem? All of you just see what was the problem given. Study the problem and write the data. A cube is given. A cube of side 40 is given. Resting on one of its corners on HP. Resting on one of its corners. Let us consider any of the. I just consider this corner. Resting on one of its corners on HP. With one of the solid diagonal parallel to HP. What are the solid diagonals first of all for a cube? First of all if you just see this, if I just consider the solid diagonals are nothing but if I just draw the cube and if I just mention the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. If A, B, C, D and E, F, G, H are the corners of the cube, now tell me what are the solid diagonals? Solid diagonals which are going to be considered for H2B is going to be considered HB. HB is going to be one of the solid diagonal. GA is going to be considered one of the solid diagonal. Okay. What are the solid diagonals? Let us see. For you, HA is going to be one of the solid diagonal. So GA or HB is going to be considered as the solid diagonal. Or CE is going to be considered as the solid diagonal. And DF is also going to be considered as solid diagonal. Let us see. So H comma B, G comma A, E comma C, D comma F. Let us consider these are the solid diagonals. So when you are supposed to make your corner is going to be resting on the HP, let us see. One of the corner is resting on HP in such a way that if you join one of the solid diagonals, let us consider any of the solid diagonal, that solid diagonal becomes parallel to this solid diagonal is going to become parallel to HP. That means parallel to XY. Students, have you got the condition? When your solid is going to be just making resting with its corners such that the solid diagonal becomes horizontal. Solid diagonal becomes horizontal. Let us say either HB or GA, EC, DF are the solid diagonals. Let us consider any of the solid diagonal and that solid diagonal should become horizontal. So that means directly he is not supposed to give the axis inclination in first stage, but that is for second stage. He just gives the one of the solid diagonal is going to be parallel to HP. And next, the last step is and incline 90 degrees to that solid diagonal is supposed to incline 90 degrees to VP. Okay, so whatever that solid diagonal is going to be become parallel to XY is going to be tilted for 90 degrees in the third stage. Then what happens in the simplest position for stage 1? Okay, so how it should be? It should be constructed as a square or a rhombus. That is the corner resting or edge resting. It was a corner resting problem. Why? Because it is resting with one of its corner of its base on HP. Okay, so when it is going to be like this means the axis is going to be inclined to HP. So when you are, it is going to be like this means let us assume it is going to be one of the solid diagonal is going to be parallel to HP. Let us see the simple construction, then you can easily understand. Now let us go for the simple position. Okay. So this was a cube. You are going to obtain two set of points. Okay. And it becomes your center one of row 2. This was step 1, stage 1. So given side is going to be given as side was given as 40. Okay. So when you are supposed to see from the front, which points are visible? A, B, C are visible, and you also know the height of the axis is 40. Okay. So Q means height is also as same as the side. Okay. Now draw the vertical projectors. While you are supposed to see from the front, A, B, C corners are visible. So the lines which are passing from those are going to become so this was the top. Now let us see what are the front view points. This is going to be ABCD means when you are supposed to see from the top face is visible. So this becomes A1 dash, B1 dash of D1 dash, and this becomes C1 dash. Next bottom base points are EFGH. So this becomes E1 dash, F1 dash in bracket, H1 dash, and this becomes G1 dash. This was step 2. This was a simple position. Then what was our requirement? What was our requirement? Resting with one of its corners. That means it should be, make axis is going to be inclined when it is going to be resting with one of its corners. The corner resting is going to, let us consider this G, bottom corner is G. Such that solid diagonal parallel to HP. Solid diagonal is supposed to parallel to HP. Let us consider my solid diagonal is going to be EC. Let us see. Here EC, HB, GA, DF are solid diagonals. I just consider my solid diagonal is, this was my solid diagonal. This solid diagonal should become parallel to XY. Why? Because it is solid diagonal parallel to HP. So when you are, so that is C1 dash, E1 dash should become parallel to XY or HP. So that means that it should become parallel to XY. Then how can we make it should be parallel? How can we make it parallel, sir? So that means you just draw the perpendicular for C dash E dash from G. You just draw the perpendicular for C dash E dash from G. That is perpendicular. So that means all of you just see here, when I am, suppose my line is going to be like this, if the line is going to be like this, these two are perpendicular. Now I am supposed to make it vertical. If this horizontal line is going to be makes vertical, then what should happen? This inclined line becomes horizontal. That means if it is going to be rotated like this, so that becomes, okay. Now let us consider this was some C1 dash, E1 dash, and this was G1 dash. If I rotate, so this, let us consider this point is going to be some K. Let us point this K. So this becomes this K. If GK becomes, vertical, then what should happen? E dash C dash becomes horizontal. Okay. Now what I should do means I just reconstruct the figure in such a way that GK should become vertical. When GK become vertical, EC becomes horizontal. Okay. So in that way, I just consider, first of all, I take the GK as going to be radius. First of all, I place my point G. This was my, let us consider G2 dash, stage 2. And I just take vertical So that means this becomes K. When your GK becomes vertical means the C is going to become horizontal. So I just draw the line of horizontal. Okay. So this becomes E2 dash, this becomes C2 dash. Now what happened? My solid diagonal becomes parallel to HP. Okay. Now join C dash with G dash. Join C dash with G dash. Okay. And G dash with E dash. G dash with E dash. So that is, so whatever the points which are going to be joined, I just join there. Okay, I just join C dash with G dash. C dash G dash is joined and E dash G dash is joined. Okay. Next. Next you can see this E dash G dash and E dash A dash are perpendicular to each other. E dash A dash and E dash G dash are perpendicular to each other. I know E dash G dash, if I draw the perpendicular, so this becomes your perpendicular. Okay? And measure E dash as center, A dash as radius, draw an arc. And here it should join this. It should become a straight line. Okay? So this becomes A2 dash. Now mark the center. So this becomes A dash B dash as radius. This becomes D2 dash of D2 dash. And this becomes F2 dash of H2 dash. And also here it is O1 dash and also O2 dash. So mark these two, join these two. Okay. Now I just reconstruct the figure in such a way that my solid diagonal EC becomes horizontal. So this becomes my step 3. Okay. Students, is it clear? Students, is it clear? Students, is it clear? Okay. Now I just require my top view. How can I obtain my top view? Simply draw the vertical projectors from the obtained front view. Okay, and draw the horizontals from the previous top view. Now mark the intersection points. So this becomes E2, F2, G2, H2. Similarly, while coming to here, this becomes A2, B2, C2, D2. Now, while you are supposed to see from the top, this base moves completely. One base is completely, that is nothing but your top base is completely visible. So I just join all the points with the solid lines. Okay. Now our principle is, when I am supposed to see from this point observer, let us take the farthest point farthest point from the observer is G. Lines which are passing from G are going to be the dotted lines or imaginary lines. And remaining, I just draw the solid lines. Now, once I acquire the two bases, now I am supposed to join all the corresponding corners. That is AE, BF, CG, DH. These are the corresponding corners joined with the straight edges. Now let us see. I am supposed to join HD. HD is going to be the one of the solid edge. Our principle is no two solid lines can cross. Solid line and dotted line can cross each other. Next, after that, F with B. No problem. Next, E with A. E with A. No problem. Next, G with C. When you are supposed to join G with C, it is going to be like this. So this becomes up to here it is dotted. Why? Because the lines which are passing from G are going to be the dotted line. So I just up to GC is going to be dotted, but up to EA it is the solid diagonal, solid line. Okay, so GA dotted line is going to be just a hide by the EA solid line, and remaining portion is going to be dotted line. So here O2 dash O1 dash is there, but I am not supposed to represent the axis. Why? Because least preference to the axis, but it is existed, but it is hidden. Okay, so now this becomes your fourth step, and this is stage 2. Next one is condition. What was the next condition after this? And incline 90 degrees to VP. What was then? The solid diagonal is inclined 90 degrees to VP. That means your EC solid diagonal is to be inclined 90 degrees. That means if you are supposed to, either there are two procedures. You can go for auxiliary or change of position method. So I just go for my convenience auxiliary. Why? Because my fourth step becomes one of the final view. Or you are not supposed to go for auxiliary. If you had to go for change of position, means that you are supposed to reconstruct the figure in such a way that CE comes to here. CE line. This CE line is going to be comes perpendicular. Why? Because 90 degrees means it is perpendicular. So if you just draw a line and this becomes your C2 and this becomes E2 and this is O1 dash, A2, G2 and O2 dash, and you can reconstruct the figure. You reconsider and you can draw the vertical projectors from here, okay, and horizontals from here. Then you will obtain the, this was become fifth, and here you will obtain your sixth when you draw the horizontal projectors. Now I just go for the auxiliary method. Let us see. So this fourth step becomes my final. This fourth becomes my final top view. So I have required my final front view. So final front view is going to be obtained beside the fourth one. How it is means, so in general, when we do the problems in auxiliary method, if it is edge resting or corner resting, so if edge is supposed to extend and you just give the given inclination, or diagonal is going to be extended, go for the given inclination. But here, so axis is inclined 90 degrees. That means this is your EC diagonal, and 90 degrees means perpendicular to XY. Okay, so if I going to make in such a way that if I draw the, if you just extend, I just extend this EC, and if I draw the this line, This becomes my new reference line x1, y1. Why? Because the inclination given is 90 degrees. So this is 90 degrees. I just extend my solid diagram EC to some extent, and I just draw the perpendicular line. Why? Because the inclination is 90. I just draw the 90 degrees line. This becomes your new reference line x1, y1. Now I just draw the perpendicular projectors from all the corners. Okay. I just arranged the fifth and sixth steps. All of you just see. Is it clear, students? Is it clear? Up to now, is it clear? So I just arranged the procedure of change of position method here for easy convenience of this step. Okay. So change of position means reconstructing the figure for 90 degrees. In auxiliary method, I know my fourth and fifth are my final steps. So I already acquired final top view, I require final front view. So draw the perpendicular projectors from all the points. Next, take the distances from old reference line and put from new reference line. So this was our old reference line xy. Okay, and we are supposed to place it from new reference line x1, y1. So now first of all, take the points A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. So which are going to be the farthest points from xy? Let us take A point. So from new reference line, A point is of this much of distance. Okay, from xy to A is taken. Take A projector from here and mark the point. And now mark the point. So this becomes your A dash. Okay. Next, let us take your B point. So this is your B. So this becomes B dash. Next, on the same height, I just obtained my same radius D is also obtained. So this was the D projector. I obtained D dash. Okay. So next take your C. C is going to get here. So this becomes my C dash. Next one is, let us take your E of GH. So G point is already on XY. So this is going to be G. So this was the G projector on XY. This becomes your G dash. Next H. This was H, and which is at the distance of from old reference line to this distance of radius is taken. This radius is taken from old reference line to point, radius is taken and put it from new reference line. So this is H, this is H dash. Similarly here it is F dash. Next E. E is going to be on the same projector, it is E dash. Okay. So this becomes your O2 dash and this becomes your O1 dash. Now join all the corners. So how can you join means always you know that when your observer is going to be where the observer is going to be placed always perpendicular to your xy, then the observer position is going to be at here. That is perpendicular to new reference line xy and he is supposed to seeing in this manner. Then which base is visible? EFGH is completely visible. So visible means I just go for the solid lines. I just go for the solid lines. Next, let us see what is the farthest point from this observer when you are seeing in this manner. C is the farthest point, and the lines which are passing from C are going to be considered as the dotted. Now I just consider C dash D dash is going to be dotted, and C dash B dash is also dotted. Remaining, I just join. Now I am supposed to join all the solid lines, that is all the corners, corresponding corners. Okay, that is AE, BF, CG, DH, so on. Okay, so in that manner I just join HD. So then I didn't get any problem. Next, FB, and also I didn't get any problem. Next, EA, no problem. Next one is CG. When I am supposed to draw for CG, it should be dotted C to G. So up to C, it is going to be covered by the solid line. So remaining is going to be represented by the dotted line. So this becomes my fifth step. This is my final front view. Okay. So this is auxiliary method. So if you reconstruct the figure by rotating your EC solid diagonal to 90 degrees means reconstruct the figure in such a way, then it becomes fifth step, that is change of position method, and draw the vertical projectors and draw the horizontals from here to obtain a sixth step. Okay, that is change of position method. I just go for auxiliary method. Students, is it clear? Okay, I just give you 5 minutes. All of you just copy this or write the important steps for this. Is there any doubt? Someone had put their thumbs down. What is your problem? Students, so why are you getting confused for this? This was such a simple problem. So what was the condition? Generally, we just know that generally axis inclination is given and next one is edge inclination is given in general problems. Okay, but these kind of problems he just gives it as, he just gives in a manner as what kind of problem this is, what kind of problem this is. He didn't give any axis inclination, he didn't give any diagonal inclination or edge inclination. He just gives based on the solid diagonal. First of all, I just place my solid diagonal. What is solid diagonal for a cube? I just consider if it is a cube, HB, GA, EC, DF are the solid diagonals. If I consider my cube like this. Now, while I am supposed to make it as a corner resting problem, means it should be like this. It should come like a rhombus. And it is going to be making in this manner means axis is inclined to which reference plane? Excuse me. When it is in this manner, axis is inclined to HB. Further only in simple position, I place my position axis perpendicular to HP. So top view gives a two shape of a square like this. It is going to be corner resting means it is axis equally, all the sides are equally inclined, that is 45 degrees. And when I am supposed to obtain my front view, this is my front view. Next one is, I just when I have to go for second stage and axis inclination, I don't know axis inclination, but I know this solid diagonal becomes parallel to HP. So I just consider my solid diagonal is CE. This CE is the solid diagonal. I want to make this CE parallel to XY. How can I make parallel to XY? For that only, for my convenience, let us assume I just draw the perpendicular for C dash E dash from G. From G, I draw the perpendicular for C dash E dash. Wherever it is supposed to meet CE, mark it as K. Why? Because why you just take this KG lines are which is perpendicular to C. That means I just consider like here. If you just take this was a T, for example, if T is going to be making some taper, if you just place this vertical stick and make it in the correct position, then this stick also comes this perpendicular exactly or parallel to XY. I just consider the same procedure. I just take my GK vertical. When I make my GK vertical means this becomes horizontal. Okay, in that manner, I just consider GK vertical. That means I just draw a line perpendicular to XY. From G is going to be one of the corner which is resting on HP, and I measure GK and I draw GK. From K, I just draw the line which is to be parallel to XY, and I reconstruct the figure. That means, so EC is going to be placed. When EC is placed, I just join C with G, E with G. And I know that EG and E are perpendicular. So I just draw the perpendicular for G from E. And I measure EA and draw an arc. I get A2, join A with C. And I obtain the remaining points. Now, once I obtain my front view, that is third step, I observe this here and I am supposed to draw the top view. Draw the vertical projectors from all the points, draw the horizontals from here. Mark the intersection points. I obtain this farthest point from observer is G. Lines which are passing from G are going to be dotted lines. Remaining all are solid lines. Next, I just go for observing method. Why? Because the solid diagonal parallel to HP and inclined 90 degrees to VP. What is the solid diagonal? EC. This EC is becomes making 90 degrees to VP. That should make that you are supposed to reconstruct the figure by making 90 degrees in change of position method. If not, I just take it as extend this diagonal, and if I draw the vertical line, okay, vertical line, then it becomes this E is going to be becomes vertical for this new reference line x1 y1. Okay, when you reconstruct the figure like this, then what happens? This EC is perpendicular to xy. If I draw the new reference line x1 y1, now when you are supposed to see in this pattern, so EC becomes perpendicular to x1 y1. Now, so from all the corners, I just draw the perpendiculars from the for the new reference line x1 y1 and extend them. Draw the projectors. And our requirement is final front view. Take the distances of the previous front view from old reference line and place it from the new reference line. G point is on xy, my G also on new reference x1 y1. F and H are some distance above xy, old xy. So I place H and F of the same distance. E is going to be some distance above xy, old xy. I just take this radius and I take the E projector, okay, and from here I just place it. Similarly, I place ABCD also from old reference line. I just measure the distances from old reference to here, from here to here, here to here. I take radius and put it from the new reference line and mark the points. So when it becomes new reference line x1 y1, observer comes to here. Why? Because always observer perpendicular to the reference line, that is x1 y1. So if he is supposed to seeing in this manner, it is going to be this base is visible, that is EFGH is visible. So this becomes solid. Next, from the observer point of view, what is the farthest point? C is the farthest point. Lines passing from C are going to be the dotted, remaining all are solid. Okay, students, is it clear now? Is it clear? Students, is it clear? Everyone? Shall we move to the next problem? Okay, someone had requested me to take the class from 3 to 6. Okay, from next class we will see it later on. 3 to 6. So it should be possible for us also. We had to recover and we just had to schedule it. What problem for you students? Someone had placed a message to 3 to 6 p.m. sir. Why? Why it's only 3 to 6? Why not it should be 4 to 7 or 5 to 8? Why not? I think all the syllabuses are completed for you. The only subject remaining is this engineering drawing. Can't you be patient for 3 hours for any of the time schedule? Okay. Draw the projections of cone. All of you write a problem. Draw the projections of the cone. Can I erase this first of all? Is it okay? Shall we move to the next problem? Okay. So draw the projections of a cone. Base diameter 35 and axis 55. Cone base 35, axis long. When it is resting on ground, when it is resting on ground, ground means don't get confused. Ground means HP. Resting on the ground on a point on its base circle. Cone base 35 mm, axis 50 mm long. When it is resting on ground on a point on its base circle with first width. The axis makes an angle of 30 degrees with HP. Axis makes 30 degrees with HP and 45 degrees with VP. Second bit, axis makes an angle of 30 degrees with HP and top view making 45 degrees with VP. Top view is making 45 degrees with the VP. So this was simple problem as we see in this. This was a diagonal problem. Okay, that means diameter problem. Either it should be the hexagonal pyramid or hexagonal prism, then you are going to be having your diagonal. And when it is a cone or cylinder, it is a diameter problem. When these type of problems arises, we have to find the apparent angle for first bit. Axis makes angle 30 degrees and 45 degrees with VP means in second stage we had to find the apparent angle beta. So we beta to find. Okay. So here without finding beta, this step is without finding beta. So that was the only considerations. Remaining is same. So that means let us consider a cone is going to be there and the cone is going to be resting with its so let us consider a cone which is going to be of base 35 and height is height of solid is given 55. Resting with its base on HP on one of the resting on ground on a point on its base circle. Let us consider this was a base circle. Let us consider any of the point and at that point it is going to be tilted for an angle of 30 degrees. Okay, that means axis is making an angle of 30 degrees to HP and next one is 45 degrees to VP. Okay, first of all this and then this. So first stage is going to be axis inclination. In simple version, let us put your axis perpendicular to HP. Top view gives the true shape. Okay. Let us divide your circle into 8 number of equal regions. Why? Because for cylinder and cone, for our convenience, to obtain the smooth curve, we just divide our base into 8 number of equal regions. So let us put this is A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, F1, G1 and H1. Okay. This is what is the diameter. Diameter of the base is given as 35. And when your base is resting on HP, so this becomes your first step, stage 1. Okay, base is resting on HP means front view comes on XY, the base is obtained on XY, this becomes your O1 of O2, this was your center. And height of the axis is given as, height of the axis 55. Okay. And when you're supposed to see the front view, A, B, C, D are visible. So draw the projectors, mark these points, base is completely visible. And for the cylinder and the cone, you're supposed to highlight only end generators only, that is only the visible outline. Remaining all are for your reference only. These are the light lines. Okay, these are only for our reference. So, but this is going to be the solid outline. Okay, so this becomes your O1 dash. This is O2 dash. This becomes A1 dash. This becomes D1 dash of H1 dash. This is D1 dash of F1 dash. It is E1 dash. Okay. So this was step 2. Next was axis inclination such that one of the corner of its base on HP. Let us consider it is tilted, means E is on XY. Okay. So first of all, draw the given inclination. What was the given inclination? 30 degrees with HP. Okay. And I know that this AE is going to be perpendicular to the O1 dash O2 dash. So for that one, I just draw the perpendicular. And okay, so this becomes your A2 dash, B2 dash of H2 dash. This is O2 dash, D2 dash of F2 dash, and this becomes your E2 dash. This is your O1 dash. I just reconstruct the figure. So these are the but you just consider only the end generators only. This is the visible outline. So you just consider this outline only. Okay. And when I am supposed to see the top view, so this is your third step. When I am supposed to see your top view, draw the, how can you obtain your top view? How can you draw the top view? Draw the verticals from here. And draw the horizontals from the previous. And now mark the intersection points. A2, B2, C2, B2, E2, F2, G2, H2. What is the farthest point from the observer? E. So lines which are passing from E are going to be the dotted, remaining it is going to be the solid line. That is the solid base. So here it is your O1, it is O2. Now for cone and cylinder, we just highlight only the end generator. This was like this, and this becomes your axis. So this is your fourth step. Stage 2 is completed. Students, is it clear up to now? Students, is it clear? Stage 1 and stage 2, which we already did in the previous classes also. Next one is here axis 30 degrees with HP and 45 degrees to VP. So when it is directly given, it is a diameter problem. You just have to find the apparent angle beta. How can you find the apparent angle beta? So simply draw the line of given inclination of 45 degrees. Okay. First of all, take the original diameter AE. If you just consider this is AE as radius, draw an arc. This becomes your E1. Draw a line passing through E1. That is A1 E1 as radius. Draw a line of 45 degrees and A as center, 50 as radius, draw an arc. Next, take the reduced diameter, that is A2 E2, and draw an arc. So this becomes your E2. Join A with E2. Inclination with horizontal becomes beta. Inclination with horizontal becomes beta. Okay. Once you obtain your beta, draw a line of beta now. This becomes beta. Once you obtain your beta, okay, this axis is going to be making 45 degrees. So put your axis, either you construct it in this manner, you just turn in this, or you can, your apex is going to be away from xy, or your apex is nearer to xy. That is either your wish. If in the problem he asks then axis is making 30 degrees HP and 45 degrees VP, such that apex is nearer to VP means you just consider your apex comes to here, that is O1 comes to here. If he gives that apex is away from VP means O1 comes to here. That means cone is going to be in this manner. If apex is nearer to VP means we are constructed in this manner. You had to construct. Okay. But he didn't give any of the point whether the apex is nearer to VP or away from VP. So I just construct my figure as my wish. I just consider apex is nearer to VP. Apex is nearer to VP. So this becomes your O1 and this becomes your O2. And this becomes your A and this becomes your E. And once I obtain my points, you know that GOC lines on the same projector line and these two are perpendicular to each other. So I just draw the perpendicular from here and I place my points. So this becomes C and this becomes G. So this becomes your B, D, F. This becomes H. Now join all the points. And I just reconstruct the figure. So this becomes my fifth step. So this is step 5 and it is stage 3. So this becomes my one of the final top view. So this is first bit 1. Okay, final top view. So next one is, next what to do? Draw the, next we have to represent the axis also. Okay, now draw the vertical projectors from here. and draw the horizontals from here. Now mark the intersection points. So this is 1 dash, so 2 dash. Next, here it is A dash, B dash, H dash, G dash, F dash, E dash, C dash, T dash. Now while your observer is, how can you join the points? Let us see the simple point is observer is going to be watching front view in this manner. That means bottom base is completely visible. So I just join all the points. You are going to obtain your, when you join all the points, you obtain like this. Okay. And this is going to be your O dash. Now I am supposed to join your so this becomes your 6th step. Similarly, you can reconstruct the figure. This is step 2nd bit. So this is stage 4. You will obtain 7 and 8 here in such a way that you just construct the figure for a given inclination, that is 45 degrees, and you can reconstruct the figure. Okay, this was your 7th step, and from here draw the verticals and draw the horizontals. Okay, and again you will also obtain another curve like this. Okay, so this becomes your 8th. Okay, you can do your 7th and 8th as you like. Okay, so directly you just go for 45 degrees and again reconstruct the same procedure. What we did in beta, construction on beta, you just do it same on 45 degrees line. That was 2nd bit, the solution for the 2nd bit. Is it clear, students? So this first bit is we find beta. So first 2 stages are as similar as we did in the previous solids 1. Okay, simple position and inclined to axis inclined one reference plane. Second is nothing but, so first bit is axis of 30 degrees to HP, that's okay, and 45 degrees with VP. When he didn't give the top view making 45 degrees, we had to find the apparent angle beta. We had to find the apparent angle beta. For beta finding only, this procedure. How can we find the beta? This is, for this bit we had to find beta. Draw a line of given 45 degrees inclination and take original diameter, that is A1, E1 as radius. Draw an arc on 45 degrees line. A as center, draw an arc. Okay, next Take the reduced diameter A2 E2 as radius with same center A. Draw an arc on the locus of E. Draw an arc on locus of E. You obtain beta. Once you obtain your beta, then draw a line of beta. Reconstruct the figure such that your axis is on beta. And again reconstruct the figure such that once I know the points O1, E1, O2, A2 are on the axis line, I reconstruct the figure. Once I know 2 points, I get any number of points. OF has radius, draw an arc. EF has radius, cut the arc. OG has radius, draw an arc. EG has radius, cut the arc. You will get all the points. Once you obtain your final top, you require final front view. Final front view. How can you obtain your final front view? Always observer is going to be seen in this pattern. Let us see. While we are going to be see A, B, C, D, E are visible like that only, observer is going to be seen in this pattern. So when the observer is going to be seen in this pattern like this, when the front view, the total base is visible. So for that only, so this was completely visible. Okay, students. So next 7th and 8th steps are nothing but which is top view making 45 degrees. That means the same procedure is done on 45 degrees. That's it. Oh, nothing. Student, is it clear? Can we move to the next problem? This was a solved example in your textbook also. No problem. You can go through the textbook. So who had put their thumbs down, they just go through the textbook. Why? Because means, so until the last 2 classes before, the attendance is only some 50, 60, 70, 80, maximum 100. So remaining people which had not attended the sessions, they had to put their thumbs down. They are not able to understand. So many people had put their thumbs up means they already attended all the sessions. They came to know what is happening here. So I can't able to understand why the people are not had not came to the first sessions. If they are not came to the sessions, they just put their thumbs down. They are not able to understand. So the people who are not able to understand, kindly go through the textbook and some of the YouTube links which we already provided. These classes was recorded. You just go through that and you can came to understand. So we already repeated twice and thrice the problems, but so we are not able to do anything in this moment. Shall I erase this? Shall I erase this? Shall I erase this problem or you require another 2 minutes? Okay, I just give you 2 minutes. Okay. I just give you 2 minutes for you. You just copy it or you just do understand, try to understand it. Okay, can I erase it now? Write a problem. Here, a regular pentagonal pyramid side of base 30 and axis 60 resting on an edge of the base resting on an edge of the base the base is tilted until its apex is 50 mm above the until its apex is 50 mm above the level of the edge of the base level of the edge of the base on which it rests. Draw the projections of the pyramid. Draw projections of pyramid. When the edge on which when the edge on which the edge on which its base rests edge on which it rests draw projections of pyramid when edge on which it rests is parallel to VP and apex of the pyramid point towards VP. Apex of the pyramid point all of you read the problem and write the data. A regular pentagonal pyramid, side of base 30 mm and axis 60 mm long, resting on an edge of the base, and the base is tilted until its apex is 50 mm above the level of the edge of the base. On which it rests, draw the pyramid when the edge on which it rests is parallel to VP and apex of the pyramid points towards VP. So this was a simple problem. Don't get confused, the problem is going to be more lengthy. So this was such a simple problem. He didn't give the axis inclination, but he just gives that resting on edge of its base, pentagonal pyramid, resting on one of its edge of its base on HP base. That means the base is tilted until its apex is 50 mm above. So that means from the HP to this height is going to be tilted. Actual height is 60. It is to be tilted up to here. That height must be 50. Next, the edge on which it rests. Draw the question of when the edge on which it rests is parallel to VP. Actually, if it is edge resting column, we just place our edges perpendicular to VP. And when you are supposed to make it parallel to VP means it should be rotated for 90 degrees. That should be like this. Okay, students, is it clear? Actually, it is edge resting problem and edge is to be like this and it is tilted like this. After that, the edge which is resting on HP is to make parallel to VP. That means it should rotate for 90 degrees like this. Then only it should become, this edge become parallel to VP and it should be like this. Okay. So actually in first stage, edge is resting on HP and axis inclined to HP. Let us put in simple position. It is axis perpendicular to HP. Okay, so this becomes your A1 B1, C1, E1, E1. It gives the side of, what was the side? Given 30. It was a pyramid, you are going to get only one set of points. Once we obtain your axis O1 of, that is center O1 of O2, join all the corners to the apex. Why? Because it is a pyramid. Okay, and this was your axis. Given axis height is 60. Given it is 60. So this becomes your O1 dash, and draw the vertical projectors from the front view. This was the front view. Step 1, stage 1. And tell me what are the points which are coming on the base. Base is resting on HV. When you are seeing from the front, the base points comes on XY. So this becomes your D1 dash. This becomes E1 dash of C1 dash. This becomes A1 dash of B1 dash. So D, E, A are visible corners. C, B are invisible, but those are hidden with the visible solid lines. So this was okay. So this was step 2. Okay. Next, it is supposed to be tilted in such a way that the axis is tilted such that until its apex is 50 mm above the level of the edge of base on which it rests. So this was the edge. So let us take the height is going to be some 50. So this is going to be the line. So this measures, for your assumption only, this was, let us consider this is some 50. Why? Because apex is 50 mm above the level of the edge. Okay. All of you just try to do this stage 2. So try to do stage 2, how you are going to get your apex is 50 mm above the level of the edge of base on which it rests, and how can you make it tilted. Students, any idea? Had you done it? How can we obtain our step 3? Anyone can share it? Anyone can share your idea? How can we do that? I already said that it is, I just draw a locus of some 50 from xy. After that, what to do? Oh. You just see simply, if I just draw a line of, which I drawn right now. So if I draw a line of some 50 for your convenience, I just make it for 50. And I know that it is going to be resting on an edge of the base, okay, and then it is tilted. So that edge of the base is considered as A dash of B dash. So first of all, I just have to place my A2 dash of B2 dash first of all. And I take my radius A dash as center, A dash, O dash as radius, draw an arc. I just draw first of all. Okay, A dash as center, A dash, O dash as radius. So I am supposed to draw an arc at somewhere. Let us take for my problem. If we take more space, I just move it somewhere at here. I just go for here. I just take it at here. So this becomes your A2 dash of B2 dash, and you just draw an arc. This becomes your O1 dash. Once if you consider OAD is a triangle, I know my A dash, okay, and A dash as center, A dash D dash as radius, draw an arc, and O dash D dash as radius, O dash as center, draw an arc to obtain some D2 dash. Now join D dash with A2 dash. Now join D dash with O dash. Okay. Now you see the points A, E, D lies on the same line. So D as center, DE as radius. D as center, DE as radius. Just mark this point. So this becomes E2 dash. Next it becomes O2 dash. Okay. Now I just join all the points. So this was also the solid line, and this was the axis. Once I obtain my step 3, I just require my top view. How can we obtain my top view? Draw the vertical projectors from here. And draw the horizontals from here. Okay. Now mark the intersection points now. So this is D, E, A, B, C. So farthest point is going to be when the observer is AB. So here it is going to be, this becomes your O1 and it is O2. So lines which are passing from farthest are going to be the dotted, and remaining I just go for the solid. Okay. If I join C with O, no problem. P with O and P with O. I guess. Okay. This becomes your fourth. Next series. Next series, draw the projection of pyramid when the edge on which it rests is going to be parallel to VP. That means you just reconstruct the figure such a way that BA should become parallel. So that means BA is going to becomes like this. This is B, A, C, D, E, okay, and this becomes your O. It is going to be like this if you reconstruct the figure in change of position method. Now, for my convenience, change of position is going to be reconstruct the figure like this. This becomes horizontal. That means it is rotated for 90 degrees. Rotated for 90 degrees. Then BA should become horizontal. If not, I just go for auxiliary method. Apart from reconstructing the total figure at here, I just go for the auxiliary method. Okay. So if I go for auxiliary method, let us see. Students, change your position method. I think all of you know. Further, I am not constructing change of position method. So that means you just reconstruct the figure such a way that this O1, O2 becomes perpendicular. Then BA becomes horizontal. Let us see, these two are perpendicular in general. So your requirement is BA edges become horizontal. How it becomes? If you take your O1, O2 is perpendicular to XY. Simply, okay? Now, again, I also do the same thing. Okay? Extend this diagonal to some extent. And I draw the perpendicular projector. Then it becomes my new reference line, X1, Y1. So if you see from this, you can see this becomes parallel to X1, Y1. This BA becomes parallel to X1, Y1. That is my requirement. Now I am supposed to draw extend all the projectors from all the points. Okay, and take the distances from old reference line and place to here. Okay, so this becomes my final top view. I require my final front view. How can you obtain my final front view in the auxiliary method? Take the distances of the points from the old reference line and put it from the new reference line. Let us see where the points are going to be. See, A and B are going to be on XY. So let us take the points. A, this was B. This becomes your B dash. And similarly, A on X1, Y1, this becomes A dash. Okay. Next, C point. C and E are going to be take the distances from the old reference line. From here to here, measure it this distance and take your C projector and place it here. This becomes your C dash. This becomes E dash. Next, D. D is going to be the farthest point from the old reference line XY. So I just measure it the maximum distance and I just take it from here. This becomes your D dash. And similarly, O dash. This is O. This is O dash. And this is O2 dash. Now, when the observer is going to be perpendicular to new reference line x1 y means observed is going to be. So when he is supposed to see in this pattern, he is supposed to able to see, he is able to see the complete base. Okay, so for that only I just join all my points by the solid lines. Okay. Now let us join all the corners to the apex. C dash to O dash, no problem. E dash to O dash also. No problem. D dash to O dash also. No problem. Next one is B dash to O dash. If I join B dash to O dash, a solid to solid cannot cross. So it should become dotted. Similarly, A dash also. It should become dotted. And next one is axis line is going to be drawn up to O2 dash to here. Remaining it was the covered by the solid line. This becomes my fifth step. This becomes my final front view. So this is auxiliary method. Okay. Students, is it clear now? Is it clear? Step 5, yes, step 5 is very similar. Students, we already discussed auxiliary method. What you just do this step 5 means our question is draw the projections of pyramid when the edge of which it rests is parallel to VP. Edge on which it rests is nothing but your AB is the edge. This edge is AB. This edge rest is going to become parallel to VP. So here my AB is going to be perpendicular to VP, that is XY. XY is perpendicular. I should make it parallel to VP means this AB in step 4 is rotated for 90 degrees to make A dash B, A comma B horizontal or parallel to VP. This was the point you just remember. So AB in step 4, which is going to be obtained as, okay, perpendicular to VP or XY. I just want to make parallel to VP and apex of pyramid point towards VP. Okay. So then I am supposed to make it okay. It is rotated for 90 degrees in auxiliary method. So that means you just reconstruct the figure such a way that O1, O2 is all going to become drawn a 90 degrees line, that is perpendicular XY, and reconstruct the figure. Reconstruct the figure. But here I go for auxiliary method. So fourth and fifth are final steps. Fourth is final top. We are required by final front view. I already know that. So if I draw the XY and Y1, which is going to be perpendicular, that is 90 degrees. Why? Because it should rotate for 90 degrees. So I just take an angle of 90 degrees and I draw the new reference line X1, Y1. When I draw the new reference line X1, Y1, this AB is going to become parallel to XY. That is my condition. So for that only I just go in this manner. Once I go in this manner, okay, So I obtain my new reference line x1, y1 and I draw the projectors from all the points from the previous front view, previous top view. Then how can we obtain these points means already know in auxiliary method, take the distances from the previous front view. In auxiliary step 5, all of you see step 5. How can you obtain the points? Take the points from previous front view, that is step 3. Take the points from previous front view to the old reference line x1, y and place it from new reference line x1, y1. That means, so previous front view is this thing. So take the distances of all the points from the previous reference line, that is xy. Xy to these points distances are taken, and on the same projector take that point and place it the distances. A, B are on xy, so I just place my A, B on x1, y1. Similarly, C and E are some distance above xy. I just take this radius and I could take the projector of C from xy. This was the center and I place an arc. Similarly, E, this was the projector and this was the center which is going to be cut the projector at here, and I just draw an arc at here, draw an arc at here. Similarly, I take this D and I take the D projector from here. I just mark my point D. Next, take O1 dash, which is this distance. Take the projector of O from new reference in x1, y1, and from here I just draw the arc. And I know that whenever you are going to do the auxiliary method, always your observer is going to be perpendicular to the new reference line. Similarly, here in step 1, I just place my observer in this manner. Why? Because our observer is always going to be seen perpendicular to xy. Similarly, in auxiliary method, x1, y1 is going to be like this. Observer is perpendicular to x1, y1. In this pattern, he is going to see this base is completely visible. So this is solid base outline. Once I obtain my solid base outline, now I am supposed to join all the corners to the apex. So I join C with O dash, E dash with O dash, D with O dash, no problem. If I join B dash with O dash with a solid line, this solid line is going to bisect. Why? Because this was the base edge, this was the slant edge. Those two cannot cross. So further only it becomes the dotted. Similarly, A also becomes the dotted. Okay, that is my final front view. Student, is it okay now? Okay, so for this problem, with this problem, we just stop this session today, and I think there are some three more problems, 3 or 4 problems. We just see in the tomorrow's class, and by tomorrow we will close this projection of solids. By tomorrow, we will end the projection of solids by tomorrow, and after that we start the sections of solids. Okay. All of you just copy this problem. I just give you another 5 minutes, no problem.